Heartbeat Podcast. I'm your host, Richard Krim. Thank you for being with me today. This is the first episode of the CAGI Heartbeat Podcast. So, whether you're a long-time resident of Indy or just finding CAGI for the first time, this podcast is going to be for you. It's a space to learn, grow, and connect with tools and stories that will help you professionally, financially, and personally. Before we dive into today's topic, I'd like to take a moment and introduce the organization at the heart of this podcast, Community Action of Greater Indianapolis, or CAGI. CAGI is a nonprofit organization that works very hard to break the cycle of poverty and make sure individuals and families are more sufficient within the greater Indianapolis area. We proudly serve 5 counties throughout the area. That's Boone, Tipton, Hamilton, Hendricks, and Marion counties. Through education and access to resources, we offer personalized support and we empower people to not just survive, but thrive and build a lifestyle they're proud of. Let's get into some of the key areas that CAGI focuses on. Energy assistance and weatherization. CAGI helps families with heating and cooling bills and provides weatherization to homes to improve energy efficiency and save money while keeping homes safe and comfortable. We also offer food and nutrition support through food pantries, emergency food assistance, and holiday meal programs. We make sure no family in our community goes hungry. Housing and homelessness prevention. CAGI offers rental assistance, eviction protection, and support for those transitioning out of homelessness. We also administer the Housing Choice Voucher Program in Boone, Hamilton, Tipton, and Hendricks counties. That helps families find safe and affordable housing within those counties. Within the workforce development and job readiness, if you need to start anew or find a better job, we offer job training, resume help, and interview prep. That gives people the tools to succeed in the workplace. With our financial empowerment and education, through budgeting assistance, debt management education, home buyer counseling, and financial literacy programs, CAGI helps people to take control of their financial futures. We also offer family and community support services. These support services include access to child care resources, our foster grandparent program for seniors that want to make a difference, our STAR case management program, our We Can programs, which remove barriers by offering transportation, emergency assistance, and job readiness tools. We also have our health and wellness and tenant services programs. We touch on the physical and emotional well-being of our community by having health programs, and we support tenants through navigating housing challenges. So whether it's putting food on the table or stable housing or reaching your next career milestone, CAGI is here to help you. For more information or to connect with these services, please visit cagi-in.org or call our main phone number at area code 317-396-1800. This is Volume 1, Episode 1 of our Mental and Personal Growth series. The name of this episode is Breaking Barriers, Overcoming Self-Doubt and Limiting Beliefs. Let's get into it. Let's be real. All of us struggle with self-doubt. It can sound like, I'm not smart enough for that job, or who would want to listen to me, or I'll never get ahead. This is how life is for people like me. These are thoughts and limiting beliefs, invisible walls that we build around ourselves based on fear, insecurity, and past experiences. If we're not careful, they can hold us back from everything we're meant to become. Let's discuss some common self-imposed limitations. The most common ones are fear of failure, perfectionism, imposter syndrome, and negative self-talk. When talking about fear of failure, we're talking about avoiding opportunities because we're scared to mess up. Oftentimes we avoid things that we may be skilled at just because we're scared that we're going to mess up. But you don't start at the top of everything at the very beginning. Just like starting with this podcast. I could have shied away from it and never started just because I knew it wasn't going to be at the very top of where I wanted it at the first episode. But that's a self-limiting belief, and sometimes you just have to hop in. Don't be scared to mess up. Look at those mistakes as lessons and keep going. When we talk about perfectionism, we can talk about that same topic. That's believing if something isn't perfect, it isn't worth doing. Just because it's not perfect when it starts off, or just because you haven't grown into it, doesn't mean it isn't worth going for. Imposter syndrome. When we talk about imposter syndrome, that's feeling like a fraud at something, even if you're highly skilled at it. A lot of times when you have that self-doubt, you may doubt yourself so much that you doubt the skill that you actually do possess. That's where we get into imposter syndrome. You just feel like you're fraudulent, like you're not supposed to be there, or you feel like you shouldn't have that opportunity even though you're skilled at it. That's just a fear. Keep going. Negative self-talk. Well, we all do it. That's constantly criticizing yourself based on nothing a lot of times, or it could be based on past mistakes. These are things that you have to just clear and get over and keep going. If that sounds familiar, I promise you're not alone. These beliefs are learned and they can be unlearned. Let's get into some strategies to break those barriers. Here on the CAGI Heartbeat Podcast, we don't like to just present a problem. We like to present the solutions to help you to try to solve them. So how do we get into some of those self-imposed limitations that I was just talking about? How do we break those barriers down? Number one is to challenge your thoughts. You have to start noticing that internal dialogue and start noticing when that little voice in your head is saying, I can't do it, I can't do it. You have to observe, is that really based off fear, or is it something that you need to learn a little bit more of? Either way, it can be corrected and you can grow from that position. You have to just kind of reframe it when you have that self-doubt. Reframe it in your mind instead of saying, I can't do it. You have to reframe it as, I've never done this before, but I can learn. And once you start having those positive moments and that positive self-talk, you move into a more positive state of mind, which will help the process along the way and help you get into learning the skills that you need to do to achieve what you're trying to go for. Number two is start small and build confidence. A lot of times we want to start way up here, but if we start with these micro things along the way to start to add to the keys to get to where we want to go, that'll help us a lot. You need to set realistic goals and celebrate your small wins. Progress is power. When you see yourself succeeding in little things, it builds your confidence to tackle the larger ones. 3 is a big one for me. That's practicing self-compassion. I go hard on myself, I'm not going to lie to you. But a lot of times you need to speak to yourself in a way that you speak to someone you love. Because you need to love yourself. You need to show yourself that love and show yourself that compassion, so it's a little bit easier mentally to proceed. Mistakes don't define you, they teach you. Remember to take every loss as a lesson, and every one of those lessons will just be added to a memory and the knowledge bank that will help you along the way. Remember, you don't want to make the same mistakes, so be sure to take those losses as lessons. Number 4 is connect with a supportive community. This is where organizations like CAGI really shine. A lot of times we feel like we're in situations alone, but here at CAGI, we work to make sure you're not alone throughout these situations in life. Reach out. We feel like a lot of times nobody's there, but organizations like CAGI are literally there and make it our job to help you in your time of need. Number 5, embrace a growth mindset. Believe that your abilities can develop and that you're growing. We're not fixed. At all times, we have the ability and capabilities to grow. So make sure your setbacks don't leave you in the same spot. Take them as a sign. They're detours. All right, let's take a moment to dive a little deeper in this topic. In our journey towards personal growth and self-improvement, it's essential to recognize how external factors can affect how we feel and just our mental in general. External factors like color, sound, and diet can profoundly affect our motivation and mood. Understanding these elements allows us to harness their power to break through self-doubt and those limiting beliefs. Let's take a look at the psychology of color. Color is more than just a visual stimuli. It evokes emotional responses and can significantly impact our psychological state. For example, a lot of fast food chains use red and yellow in their logos to stimulate appetite and convey a sense of urgency. It also encourages quick decisions, such as fast food. Understanding these associations can empower you to make conscious choices about the colors that we surround ourselves with. These influence our emotions and affect our behaviors positively. This is a popular one talked about often: the impact of sound and music. Sound frequencies and music profoundly affect our emotional well-being and cognitive functions. Music and emotion. Listening to music activates brain regions associated with emotional regulation, and that can reduce anxiety and stress. Upbeat music can enhance feelings of optimism, while slower tempos may promote relaxation and stress relief. High-frequency sounds can increase alertness and tension by stimulating the sympathetic nervous system, leading to elevated heart rates and release of stress hormones like cortisol. By curating your sound environment and choosing music and sounds that align with your desired emotional state, you can effectively manage your mood and motivation. Diet and mental well-being. Nutrition plays a crucial role in our mental health. Citrus fruits that are rich in vitamin C can help regulate cortisol levels once again, which is the primary stress hormone. It also supports the production of mood-stabilizing neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. Incorporating fruits like oranges, grapefruits, and lemons into your diet can promote emotional well-being. It's real simple. Balanced diets, consuming a variety of nutrient-dense foods, supports brain function and can improve mood and concentration. By making mindful dietary choices, we can positively influence our mental state, providing the necessary nutrients for optimal brain function and emotional balance. For our deep dive, be sure to empower yourself through your environmental choices as much as you can. Be sure to incorporate positive colors around you, curate your soundscape, and adopt a nutrient-rich diet. By intentionally designing our surroundings with these habits in mind, we can break through self-imposed limitations and cultivate a positive mindset conducive to achieving our goals. So coming up, We'll have some of our partner podcasts on the Community Action Neighborhood Network. Welcome back to the CAGI Heartbeat Podcast. I'm your host, Richard Krim. On the Community Action Neighborhood Network, this won't be our only podcast. We'll have many more. And one of those podcasts is Menopause in Color, hosted by Dr. Stephanie Young-Moss. I have the doctor here with me today. How are you?
Fine, how are you? Thanks for having me, Richard.
Doing okay. Thank you for being here with me today. Can you tell me a little bit about Menopause in Color and some of the topics that you'll be covering?
Yes, so Menopause in Color is an educational platform that teaches women of color about perimenopause and menopause and what they can expect. It also helps them build community to know that they're not going through this transition alone. So the podcast will be educational, but it will also feature women who are going through perimenopause and menopause and how they live their life out loud and in color.
All right. Sounds good. Coming to a network near you very soon. Be sure to tune in, like, and subscribe. So let's wrap this up with a few truths that I'd like you to carry with you. Remember, you're capable of more than you think. Your current situation is not your final destination. Growth takes time, but every step counts. And you deserve support, so it's okay to ask for help. If you're ready to take action, maybe that's working on your finances, health, or finding more stability at home, CAGI's here for you. We believe in your potential, and we want to work beside you as you unlock it. Thanks for tuning in to this first episode of the CAGI Heartbeat Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who may need some support today. We'll be back with more episodes on personal growth, financial education, and finding balance within your life. Be sure to stay encouraged, and I'll see you soon.